Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday. My name is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, and I'm here to do your weekly guidance reading for the week of November 4th through the 10th. Before moving into the reading, I actually had a couple cards just fall out of their decks. I'm working with the Shadowscapes Tarot, and then we have the Animal Spirit Oracle for our animal guide, and then the Liquid Crystal Oracle for some crystal energies that can help us through the week. And so I'll start with the first one that fell out was the Emperor from the tarot deck. And he is in the reverse. So the Emperor has to do with structure, order, father figure, masculine energy, the kind of kingly energy of leadership and foundations. And so with him being in the reverse, there could be maybe some challenging of authority. Maybe you're challenging like father figure or family members, things that your foundation has been built upon. Or if this is job related, this could be challenging a boss. If this is more personal work, it's a question of where your power is being distributed. Are you being too dominating? Are you overexerting your will and your power on others to get what you want? Or are you being too passive and not expressing your true power to really manifest the things that you want in this world? Are you letting people kind of walk all over you? And with the crystal card, yeah, power energy. This card we had a couple weeks ago, Tiger's Eye, personal power in action. So yeah, again, how are you expressing your power into the world? How are you taking action with it? If you're being too passive, if you're not being powerful, the Tiger's Eye is here to remind you how to put that personal power into action. And if maybe you're being too domineering, this could be a helpful stone for dialing it back and saying, how can I do this in a healthy way? So moving into the actual reading, this is a general collective reading. So if it doesn't resonate with you, it may not be a message for you today. And be open to the different ways that the messages come in, because there's multiple different interpretations. And we'll go ahead and begin moving in. So the first card that we have is the Three of Cups in reverse. So the Three of Cups usually has to do with celebration, gathering with friends, being social, being out in the world, emotional connection, different things like that. So maybe this week, especially if there's a question of power, maybe there has been a sort of you've been feeling your power is being drained, or your energy is being drained after being out and being social so often. So you're wanting to retreat and go back inwards more and spend more time with yourself. Or you may be called, you could have been overindulging yourself, whether in alcohol or anything that has just been feeling really draining. This could be calling you to take a step back and kind of let those things go for this week. And especially with, we're in a Mercury retrograde period, and we're also moving through the sign Scorpio, which is a water sign. So we're really wanting to pay attention to those deeper emotions, and are we not feeling in place in the world? And how do we do that? How do we make a stand for ourselves? How do we set up this foundation? So maybe you really have to kind of get grounded, spend more time alone, not be so influenced by these outside sources, and get more comfortable in how you want to express yourself. And so the next card we have is the Five of Swords in reverse. So if there was maybe an actual conflict with somebody personal, you are trying to find peaceful resolution. There maybe has been a lot of fighting, some hurtful words. You were kind of wondering whether to actually engage in this fight, and things could have really blown up and gone out of proportion. Sides could have been picked. There could have been not equal give and take. Somebody could have been really domineering over you, or you could have been really domineering over them, trying to force your ideals onto them. And so this is causing some retreat. This is causing you to want to spend more time alone and try to find that peaceful resolution. Especially in Mercury retrograde, there is a tendency for communication to not be the best. Things to really come forward not in the best way. It can be really impulsive. This is a card of Aries. So if you're in Aries, this could be a message for you specifically. Aries, sometimes with them being a fire sign, can be impulsive. And so if there was this impulse, this fighting, this jabbing at each other, taking the time to just step away from the situation and reevaluate where you're at, taking the time to center yourself before really engaging back in with this person. And for the last card, yeah, Temperance. Temperance obviously has to do with balance, the temperate energy, blending the fire and the water, finding balance in yourself, trying to balance this emotions with these passions. Maybe this was something that you were really passionate about, that you were standing up for, and it just came out wrong and it caused a huge fight. And so now you're just being called to spend this week really just balancing yourself, balancing your emotions, finding a balanced place to be able to healthfully express yourself, so that when you do go back into the world and you do express your personal power, you are more balanced. And if you were in more of the energy of not expressing, if you were the one being kind of dominated over and you didn't get to really say your piece, or you didn't really get to make a stand for yourself, still spending that time reflecting and finding a peaceful resolution, finding your inner fire, standing up for yourself, but also not being too passive. And you'll also know when it's the right moment to actually bring this conversation back. This is all about really reflecting on patience and finding the balance within yourself, setting up the foundation, knowing where you're coming from and speaking from your heart instead of from a place of trying to be hurtful or overly emotional and not in a good place. And when you start to feel more balanced like this, you can start to kind of come out of your shell a little more and be around people and expressing yourself again. Okay, so moving into an animal spirit guide for the week. We have a hawk spirit in protection. Let spirit be your guide. So sometimes with hawk, when they're reversed like this, that means a protection totem. When they're in the reverse like this, it can mean, where are you ignoring the signs? Where are you ignoring the messages or the intuition that are coming for you? Where are you not trusting? And especially with this cups energy, delving more deeply inward, where are you ignoring this call? Maybe you're avoiding taking a deeper dive if this is something that's more personal and not involving outer situations. You could be worried about taking that deep dive. Maybe you're just isolating yourself with no intention of really going back out into the world. You're just really isolating and feeling kind of closed off, like defeated, not wanting to really participate in the world anymore. And so the temperance is that balancing of your intuitive side, your feminine side, and your masculine action-oriented side. The water and the fire, how can we take what we really want emotionally and healthfully express it into the world? So trusting that spirit is there guiding you, trusting that there are messages around you, even if you're afraid to take this time out. Maybe you're worried about disconnecting. Maybe you're worried about letting this social circle or social situation go. And Spirit is trying to reassure you that there is a plan for it all. There is a reason you're feeling this need to withdraw. And it's perfectly fine. We go through different phases of wanting to be really action oriented and then wanting to be really withdrawn. So actually listening to your inner guide, because if we start to ignore the signs and the messages, it can create more dysfunction in our lives. We can start to create more health issues, more mental health issues. So actually listening to your inner self, finding the balance for yourself, not seeking it outwardly, but just trusting more inwardly, making peace for yourself because you deserve this peace. Okay, and then I actually had 2 cards fall out for some crystals that we can use this week. The Tiger's Eye is another good one. And then we have Amethyst of Humility. So some of you were being really domineering, being really hurtful to people. And now you're not really sure how to create this peaceful solution. Humility is the best way. Humility, admitting to our wrongdoings, admitting that this is maybe not the way we wanted to handle this situation. And again, with letting Spirit be your guide, listening to your inner messages, tuning in with yourself in your higher voice, knowing how you really want to express, especially sometimes this Mercury retrograde can bring out old patterns where we are really hurtful with our words. We're really not sure how to interact with people without being hurtful. And this could all just be past issues of our own. So humility from both ends, even if maybe you weren't in the wrong. If this is a situation you want to heal, coming forward with humility and saying, taking accountability for the parts that you did wrong, and at least just making peace with that. If this doesn't exactly resolve and maybe these people don't come back into your life, you at least had the chance to speak your truth and come forward with truth and humility. And then our other stone is Ruby, the spiritual warrior. So yeah, standing up, connecting with Spirit and your spirit guides. I think another animal that's also connected with Ruby is tiger. So I see this as really grounding, since this is a red stone, really grounding in how you want to better approach this. And being a warrior, maybe this is for, I could see this, the reason that maybe there are 2 this week is there's one for the people who were maybe a little bit too domineering, and then there's the ones for the people who are being too docile and not going forward in the world. So tapping into that warrior energy, really blazing forth and expressing your power into the world in a healthy way, grounding and not being afraid to be that warrior that you really are. You have so much power, so many things backing you up. Spirit is backing you up. So if there's something that you're wanting to change in your life, or something that you're wanting to express, something that's kind of maybe shaking up the foundations of your life and challenging maybe somebody who's been authoritative over you, now is the time to be the warrior for yourself and live your truth. Come forward and live your truth. I think that's why there were 2 this week. So whichever energy you are feeling, there's a couple different messages for you. So take that however you like. Okay, so many great cards this week. I will be posting pictures so you can get a clearer view, and I'll be sharing this video as well. So give it a share, give it a like if it resonated with you. I also do private readings if you want something catered to you a little bit more specifically. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.